How we doing there, guys? Here we are in our 15th week. Can you believe it? We're almost done. Thanksgiving week, so we'll wish you all a happy Thanksgiving before I begin, and I will wish you one when I finish the video. But we only have a limited amount of time left this week, and then next week is going to end. The 6th will be the next end date of our next week. Okay. So our end date for this week is the 29th. Okay. A few days after Thanksgiving. And then following that, the end date will be the 6th. Now, after that date, the 6th, that's Sunday, that week that follows is the final week of classes. In fact, the last day of class is the 7th, the Monday that comes after the Sunday, the 6th. And then grades are due for you all by us by that Friday, the 11th. Okay, so what this means is we only have 2 weeks left, really. The final week I will have, I'll have to see how that plays out, the final week of the 7th through the 11th. I don't really think we're going to have an assignment or anything due that week because we'll be working on getting final grades calculated and posted and all that stuff. So what I have in mind for us, I had in mind, I should say, that this week would be a redo for our argumentative persuasive essay. But due to the fact that we do have this limited time left, I'm going to X that. Okay, so we're not going to redo the argumentative persuasive essay. We will redo the MLA research argumentative persuasive essay. Okay, so that'll not be this week's assignment, but that'll be for next and what is probably our last week of class, the assignment for that week. Okay, so not this week, but the following week will be add another page, make your corrections to your MLA research essay, okay? What I'm going to get turned around to you guys by the end of this week is your descriptive redos, okay? And if I have time, any other backlogged work that I have for grading. For you all for this week, being that we're not doing our argumentative persuasive redo, we have time for our final mode of discourse, and that's cause and effect, okay? We have a discussion board this week. It's not going to follow anything in the course in terms of our textbook, so we don't have a reading in the 1101 reader, nor do we have exercises in the SEC textbook. This is something I've found online, a blog, a philosophy blog. And it's a really interesting idea about the problem of cause and effect as demonstrated by an 18th century Scottish philosopher, David Hume. That's Hume, H-U-M-E. David Hume thought that it was really hard for us to verify precisely what we see and sense without applying a degree of skepticism to it. So Hume was a skeptic. He had a lot of questions about a branch of philosophy called epistemology. Epistemology has to do with how do we know what we see out there in the world is what it is, okay? How do we know? How do we learn about phenomena in our life, okay? So epistemology is that branch of philosophy concerned with how you know what is out there in your world, basically, okay? And one criteria he had in this epistemology field was the idea of cause and effect, okay? And his whole problem was, how do I know for a fact that cause A initiates and activates effect B? Okay, and the example he used was billiard balls, pool table balls, okay? It's kind of a little thought experiment, and the blog that I gave you all to read for the week, which is it's a simply worded blog. It takes a pretty complicated idea by Hume and kind of breaks it down in, relatively understandable terms. His whole idea was, how do I know when I strike the billiard ball A, let's say, and it hits billiard ball B, and here's billiard ball B, how do I know that the effect, billiard ball B moving, was in fact caused by billiard ball A acting upon it? Okay. Now today, you and I, all of these philosophical issues are settled, we might say. Of course, we know that hitting a ball and that ball striking this ball is going to cause this ball to have the effect of moving from where it had been to some other point, as it was acted upon by the striking of this ball. Okay? As demonstrated there, if you will, by this hand hitting this hand and that hand moving. Okay? But Hume had an interesting way of describing whether or not that is in fact cause and effect, or if it's something else. And how do we know what cause and effect really is? Okay. Can we extrapolate from that idea of the ball hitting this ball to other things out there in the world, other causes, other apparent causes, and their apparent effects? Okay. Now you can think of this in terms of politics and news today. People say all the time, you know, this is what happened as a result of this, okay, or this is an effect of cause A, okay, and we're supposed to just take it for granted, okay, because we don't have the bandwidth and the scope to know all the things going on in the world around us, so we kind of rely on people telling us, okay, because we only know what's going on in our immediate lives, right? It's hard enough to even know that. Okay, so we rely on information filters to deliver us information so that we can make informed opinions and judgments so that we know how to act and carry on in our day-to-day lives to some degree. So it's this interesting little thought experiment here. How do you know the relationship between a cause, an apparent cause, and an apparent effect? Okay, is it that easy as just seeing this hitting this, and we know that this was caused by this, or this is the effect of the cause, this, okay? So read the article. I've given the article to you in a couple places in the announcement section, and then in the discussion forum section again. In order to view the discussion forum prompt, you have to click on Create Thread, and then it will populate for you. The assignment is to create an original 150-word post based on the questions I have in the discussion forum prompt. And remember, and I do a word count. Now, you know, I can eyeball these things. I know by now what a 150-word response looks like, and of course I read your response to make sure that you are fulfilling the assignment parameters. But it's an extra step for me to copy and paste your response into a Word document and press, word count. Okay. So if you could do me the favor and actually do the 150 words, and I know what I'm looking for. If I see it, then I don't have to worry about that step of initiating a word count. I could just read the content of your post and know if you're on track or not, and appreciate your contribution to the forum. This is all to say, please do the minimum word count of 150 words. That's your original contribution. Also, your response contribution to another classmate's original post, too, has to be 150 words. Okay? So that is our assignment for this week. A little philosophical thought investigation experiment on what cause and effect really is, and if it's so verifiable, so easily verifiable as we might think. Okay? And then next week we will have a wrap-up assignment in 1101, maybe even a blog thrown in there too, and your redo for your MLA research essay. Okay? I think that's all I have to say. Yeah, I think it is. So I'll just go ahead, guys, and wish you all a wonderful, happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy the time with your family and friends. Stay safe out there. And what a semester, what a year it's been. So let's finish strong, and wish you all the best this week. Let me know if you have any questions, any concerns. Don't wait till the last minute, though, okay? If you ask me, or if you have a problem with something and you let me know on the weekend, that's going to be kind of a toughie to try to resolve for you. So try to let me know ahead of time, okay? In any case, great Thanksgiving out there. Let's be thankful for what we have, because we got a lot to be thankful for, even if we don't think that we do, given how cuckoo bananas 2020 has been. All right. See y'all later. Have a good one. Talk to you again next week, our last week. Bye-bye.